Good afternoon, all. Gary Gabagool here, my boy Sal. Happy New Year again.
Yep. How you doing?
And we're starting the broadcast. Sal and I were rubbing our heads together to figuring out, and I thought a very apropos song by Alice in Chains was "Down in a Hole."
Yes.
Listen to these words. This is perfect for the Democrats. Losing their soul. Hoping one day they can fly.
Feeling so small.
Feeling so small. That's every liberal I talk to these days. And so, of course, we would just have to add the proverbial shit to "Down in a Hole" because that has become the biggest cry of the liberals today. And when you realize that this is all they got to go on, how sad and pathetic they've become, it's unbelievable. Every day, I got more and more liberals just wigging out, losing their shit. Last week, we had a group of people who said that Sal and I lied on our podcast. So I specifically asked the guy, what did we lie about? And he went on some rigmarole that made no sense. And I pressed him again, and he admits that he didn't even watch the show. Yeah. And he basically said he made that distinction on the comments that were made under our podcast. So I said to him, "Oh, man, so you're just like Obama." And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, you pass a bill, you make judgments before you have any information, before you read the bill. You blame all the cops before you even have any idea of what occurred in that event. Yeah. And that's the way they are now. They just throw as much shit against the wall.
They go whatever way the social,
yeah.
No matter what's right or wrong. Oh, the social wants it to be this way, even if it's completely
correct,
ridiculous, like socialism. Oh, they want it. Yeah, let's support it.
And listen, the shithole comment. For those of you who have been to Haiti, I have. I've been there twice, not by choice. I was on a cruise ship, and they stopped us in Labadee, and people were very nice, and they carved out a little like a quarter mile of beach where people got off the cruise. But I kind of ventured off of the quarter mile for a little bit. It was a shithole. And here's again what Sal and I discussed last podcast. Liberals and Democrats are more concerned with words than actions, because as soon as I heard the shithole thing and the Dems and liberals all lose their shit about it, I said to a couple of liberals at the coffee shop that I talked, I'm like, aren't you people more concerned why Haiti's a shithole? Not because of what President Trump said. Haiti's a shithole because Hillary Clinton and President Obama robbed these poor people of their aid after the earthquake, trafficked their children in pedophilia. And if you don't believe me, the three people associated with Hillary Clinton in Haiti, all three were charged and convicted. Not indicted, not accused, convicted. And that's Epstein, Silsby, and Portillo. Jorge Puello. So that's it. And then they go ahead and just rape the entire country when they're supposed to rebuild. They said they're going to rebuild hundreds of thousands of homes. I think when you go back and look at it, I'm not exaggerating. I think they rebuilt like 81. And they were on a mountain and they fell apart. So that's what liberals should be concerned with. But they are never concerned with actions. Only these fucked up words that seem to ruffle their feathers, like have them scamper around like they're on fire. It's ridiculous.
I wish I lost kind of touch with one of my friends. My friend Carl. He's Haitian. He's from Haiti.
Oh, yeah.
He came here from Haiti during that earthquake.
Yeah.
After all that, and we asked him you ever gonna go back? And he's not like he said it verbatim or anything like that. Where he goes, "No, man, it's a shithole." He doesn't want to go back there. There's nothing there for him. He goes, "It's sad because he had friends die and horrible things happen." But he's like, "Man, the whole place is destroyed. It's like, why? It's impossible. Why go back? There's nothing there."
Here, to Sal's point, a guy who he knew lived there called it a shithole, and no one got upset. Now all of a sudden they're saying he's racist. And here's the thing. I know this is probably elementary, and a lot of probably people have said it, but I always love to ask these liberals, hey, listen, when you go on a vacation to Iraq or Libya or Haiti,
there is no vacation.
There's no
vacation spot there.
It's the places have been pillaged and raped. And just an FYI, you people, I don't know if you remember this, but back in the day, President Obama was in a similar press conference, and he called Libya a shit show. So there's no difference between a shit show and a shithole. There's no difference. But as usual, there's a double standard. Here's where the liberals are held. A friggin' ant couldn't crawl under it, and they put us to the standard conservatives like this. It's a joke. I'm sick of it.
It really is. It's unreal. Well, I don't know. Like, remember the whole switching topics just a little bit to get into some conservative backlash.
Yeah.
Remember James Damore?
Yep.
The Google memo guy?
Yes, I do remember.
Filed his lawsuit today against Google. Or not today, this week against Google.
Yep.
And the lawsuit is all about discriminating against white male conservatives. So we'll see what transpires from that, but that's the actual lawsuit. What are you saying about?
At this point in time, I mean, I know this guy lost his job, so he
it's a civil suit, so yeah.
Exactly. I think all of us deserve to sue the government or media.
It's amazing.
On white conservatives.
For white conservatives.
We get shit on every day. We become like the punching bag for the media and the lefties. White males, conservatives are like, forget it. We're like the devil. And listen, women, white conservatives aren't much better either, but no conservatives at all. But it's completely ridiculous. But on a separate note, two things went down today, and as usual, it didn't take a proactiveness from the DNC, from the FBI, any of these organizations. They had to. Well, one is there was an indictment on Uranium One, and it seems, I pray this is just the first of many. But the guy who owned a trucking company named Mark Lambert, he's from Maryland. He went down on 11 counts, including bribery and all these other charges, treason. And basically what he did was they said he bribed some Russian officials to get the contract to take the uranium up to Canada, to Frank Justra and TD Bank, which is just happens to be Hillary and Bill's best friend. You can look that up, Frank Justra. But it seems to me, and I pray that they brought this guy in because he's a tiny little tadpole. I pray that they bring him in to start pointing the finger and laying out some other people, and hopefully we'll see something, because Uranium One needs to happen, needs to go down.
Yeah, well, something needs to go down.
Yeah,
with this whole DOJ thing.
Correct.
I mean, there's too much crazy stuff out there that.
Yep.
I feel like the public knows about. It's being talked about socially within circles, but they do nothing.
It still amazes me to this day. You have major network news, major. I mean, if you look, your CNN, CNBC, they're probably 2 and 3, but these are major publications, major broadcasts, and they say nothing about any of this. Nothing. It's mind blowing how much in the tank they are for Hillary and the DNC.
They were going back to the shithole stuff. They were going off on Fox News about defending Trump for the shithole comments, that they defended it as that's normal people speak.
Right.
And they're trying, like all the other ones, are they trying to say that that's the way normal people don't speak? Like I don't understand. How can they defend that it's not normal?
I must have said shithole on my
That's
post
mild. Shithole is
50 times last year.
But I'm just saying, in a conversation, That's a mild statement. Like
it's just, what it is, like I said, they're just trying to grab onto anything they possibly could. And this guy, I got to tell you one thing about President Trump. He has the backbone and resiliency. I've never seen anything like it, because most modern people today, politicians, would have quit a long time ago, because they're using the Communist Manifesto and the Rules for Radical playbook on continue just to lie and beat your opponent down until a majority or a percentage of the people in the public believe you, and or the believers of your guy just are worn down where they don't want to fight anymore and are tired of it. And you could see some of that. I could see some people. It was funny. I heard today on Facebook, I won't mention her name, but someone I consider, someone that I talk to time and time again. I had to defriend her because she went on a tirade against President Trump and this porno actress that was paid off.
The porno actress came out and said it wasn't.
Yeah,
none of that was true.
The porno actress actually, and she went off, and I was like, this is the stuff that I can't have the negativity on my page. And listen, I'm not here to defend, say President Trump's an angel. I'm not here to say that. But when you got people that's confirmed who paid look to pay some women $700,000 to lie about President Trump, or tell this woman to make up a fake story, and they want to pay her, how am I going to have any credibility? And let's be honest, even if it was true, I don't give a shit. It's not my business. I'm not married to the man. That's his wife's problem. It's not my problem.
That's one of those stories, though, where you got to let it play out a little
Correct.
bit. You can't just jump all over somebody. immediately. You gotta let that, like, the 24 hour news cycle is too fucking crazy.
Correct.
Like,
well,
you gotta give it another 24 hours. Oh, it turns out that it wasn't true. That's like
my point. I guess my point of defriending this person.
No, yeah, you're right.
Is I can't have people who are weak.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I can't have people who just jump ship on the first mention of something going wrong because. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, the Washington Post leaked it first, and we know how unnewsworthy those assholes are. And I just can't be bothered with people like this anymore because I need strong people around me. I can't have these people who are Weasley. Listen, if he does something wrong, I'll be the first to admit it. We did it sometimes, but I'm not going to sit here and listen to gossip because I feel that the media and liberals are like 11 or 12-year-old little girls in a schoolyard constantly pointing fingers at each other and just making up stories. This is grown adults. These are people who have high-profile positions. If you ever listen to these two douchebags, Morning Joe and his girlfriend, whatever, Brzezinski, whatever the fuck her name is, the blonde, they talk every day about President Trump's mental health being debilitated. And just an FYI, you two idiots, Dr. Ronnie Jackson from Walter Reed had an extensive examination of President Trump yesterday. Not only his physical health, but his mental health. And he said it is exceptional.
Yep.
Exceptional. So there you go again. More wrong things that you liberals do. How many times can we prove you wrong? President Trump has proved you wrong so many times it's sickening.
Yeah, it really has. It's just like, what? Oh, I don't know. Well, now it's to the point where we've been saying all along that it's from higher up. Yeah. Whatever the bosses are, because you can't. They would have to change this narrative along the way somehow. Like, this is ridiculous.
It's lame.
We got no one watching anymore.
Right.
Like, how can they keep continuing to spray out all this craziness? But
it's funny. President Trump has said his favorite book is Sun Tzu, The Art of War, which I love. And matter of fact, I read it a long time ago, and I need to read it again. It's that great. But one of the things he says is, when you're weak, act like you're strong. When you're strong, act like you're weak. And so these are the things he does on Twitter. Like he'll say something to tweak somebody, and they'll say, "Oh, he's losing his mind," and then he comes back and proves that he's completely healthy, just like he did today. When they say he says something that's outrageous, then he comes back and proves them wrong because he already knows. It's like he's playing cards with a stacked deck. He has all the aces, and these clowns are playing with deuces, and they keep thinking they got a good hand, and then he just whips out all these cards, and he makes them look stupid every time. And if you're listening to the news stories or polls or anything today, you're out of your mind because all they're doing is complete fabrication. You're wasting your time. You're being fed bold-faced lies right to your face and eating it. It's like shit being thrown down your throat, and you gotta, digest it and then ask them for more if you're sitting there listening to this crap, because it is awful. This news organizations are terrible, the worst.
Well, going off of when you were saying the Twitter stuff, all those the undercover videos.
That's great. Yeah, go on that.
About the shadow banning from Twitter this week. And the first video came out. It said that Twitter gives the DOJ all of Trump's direct messages, anything that comes off of just any of the pages, anything.
Deleted,
all these messages. They give right to the DOJ, which is crazy. Then it came out that they also do this thing called shadow banning, which is they ban people without even telling them.
Right.
They just ban them, and then people see their Twitter mentions, and nobody likes their stuff. No one comments, and they're like, "Oh, I guess my influence is dried up. I guess I shouldn't do this no more."
Right.
And so that's another reason.
But no one sees it.
Yeah. And another thing that I thought was crazy is they also ban people and also erase people's tweets without them even knowing by assigning value scores to people's tweets. Like the word Trump will be a value of 5. Russia will be a value of 2.
Right.
Blah, blah, blah. And if the value score adds up to this, it equals you getting kicked out.
Yeah.
I was like, wow, this is some messed up shit.
It's kind of scary.
But I think that Facebook is or was doing this because it was happening to our podcast for
without doubt. Yeah, it seems something came. I don't know if this has anything to do with it, but I think when there was a backlash against Facebook, because I think I mentioned it once, but I was losing like 30 to 40 friends a day, and and then Sal and I on our podcast, and people were like, we're not seeing it, and then Sal couldn't boost it,
They wouldn't be able to search.
Correct.
Yeah.
And I think as of maybe 3 weeks ago, or maybe
it's gotten better.
It's gotten better. So I think they might have said we got to back off on this, because I think personally they're afraid of a lawsuit, a class action. That's what I think. Because conservatives are going to stand up eventually and say, wait a second, if we're not able to partake in a social media organization that's supposed to be unbiased, and we're going to file a class action lawsuit, and we're going to do it. And there's people, I know Prager, that's Adam Carolla and Dennis Prager, they have proof that this has happened to them. I mean, I think they have physical proof. We have proof. And so does what's his name, Jordan Peterson as well.
Yeah, I have all
these guys, all these conservatives do, not just the ones we mentioned. But it's going to happen where I would imagine that someone who has a great deal of money and influence is going to, if this didn't stop, put a class action suit together and sue for like
they would just
$1 billion or whatever.
Wipe out their business.
Yeah, just do that. But that's something that's definitely come down. And like I said, on Facebook, I agree with Sal. I think it's calmed down a little bit, but I don't do a lot of Twitter.
Well, now when I do the boost, they actually go through.
They do
almost immediately.
Yeah.
Where the reviews always say like within 15 minutes. Now they go within 15 minutes. Before it was taking 15 hours.
Yeah.
So it was really bothersome.
Yeah, it was causing a lot of problems, and we were getting jerked around a lot by Facebook, but things seem to have calmed down lately.
Yeah.
Another big thing that came out today, and this is something that Sal and I don't even know what number of podcasts, but we predicted uranium on.
Yeah.
Now this one we predicted a long time ago, and we've been waiting on it. But finally, the Senate House Judiciary Committee had Benghazi declassified. And what a doozy this one came out to be, people. General Carter Ham, they have an email or what do you call it? A communication with him right after Benghazi, when our what do you call it, was attacked, when our embassy was attacked. He came right out and said it was a terrorist attack. In the communication, he went right into Obama and Clinton, told them that. And then he said it was buried, and they were told to stand down. And so now basically the entire Obama administration lied to the American public and under what do you call it? Under oath about Benghazi. So these guys were all right. We were right. Everybody was right. And when you tell me that Benghazi didn't matter, now you have 4 people's blood on your hands, and many other, and the guys who were saved, there's a lot of injuries. If you saw the movie, that was indicative of the actual events. A couple of those guys were banged up really hard.
I think that was 13 hours.
13 hours, yeah, and that's how long they were in limbo for. And then he basically said, now this guy, we've mentioned him last podcast, 39. This is 40. Chris Paranto is an Army, I think he was a Green Beret, who he retired from the military, and then he worked as a consultant to these Blackwater groups in protection of our embassy. Him and these 2 other guys, one who was seriously injured, but Chris Paranto, they called him Tonto, that was his call name. He was okay, other than what he saw. But
I mean, are you ever really okay after that?
His friends died, and but he comes on Twitter and Facebook every day and rips. And, rips Clintons, rips Obama, rips liberals. And he had a huge series of scathing reports on not just, what happened there, but he basically said that they didn't think they had to worry about any of this because they left him and all his people, which were like 50 people, they left them all to die, basically. And the heroism of these 3 men and the rest of the group of people, they got home somehow. And then this very pro-American billionaire, very multimillionaire Libyan guy who flew him on their plane. Yeah. But so that just goes to show you now, this is just 2 things that we learned in the last 12 hours of huge lies and corruption of the Obama and Clinton administration. Just 2. Could you imagine? Someone sent me a post this week, and it was my buddy Woody, and I posted it about all the stuff Hillary and Obama have going on in the last 10, 12 years. The laundry list was like this long of crimes, and everyone was a crime. So I only can pray that these things come to roost very soon, and I hope they do.
I hope so before Obama gets to build his stupid library.
Yeah, they don't even want it.
It's not even a library. He's building like a mega liberal complex out there. It's pretty disgusting.
Yeah, he's probably having help of all is all his Illinois shitheads like Dick Durbin and all those.
What
assholes.
I think though is I think the backlash, because you see backlash on TV and some stuff, but I think it's going to be a lot greater than he even thinks. I think
the question I have that I don't know, you maybe can answer is who's paying for it?
Who do you think's paying for it? Those
we are
the people of Illinois that are bankrupt.
Yeah.
So, but I just think. We know the violence in Chicago. It's crazy. And I know it's going to be in a nicer part. It's going to be by the lake or whatever. Yeah. But I can be like, the black people will come out, Obama. This is for us, right? They're going to want to go up there, all of them. And they're all going to want it for free. And when you can't use the basketball court for free, I can see a fucking riot happening, man.
Yeah, it's
what? I can't use your test kitchen, Musha? Like, what the hell? Right. Like, what the? How come I can't use your test kitchen? Right. How come I can't use your yoga studio? How come I can't use all this stuff? How come it's not free? I guarantee it won't be free.
No, no,
guarantee it won't be free.
They're looking to make money on this. Of course, that's all it is. But yeah, it's most definitely we're living. It's. From our first podcast, which I never thought could get worse, here we are 40 later, it's actually worse. It's more juvenile, more infantile.
We went through a stretch where it was getting scary, though.
Yeah,
it was
getting scary.
This is a little childish now.
It is getting. Now it's all about name calling and acting, but it's getting completely nuts. And I'll tell you, even the whole DACA thing. This week with the DACA thing. And I don't even think most people know what the DACA thing is, out there in liberal land. But all they're saying to me, and it's funny because they'll come right out and they'll just start calling you names, like cursing at you.
Let's break DACA down.
Yeah, go ahead, go.
Do you think, it's open-ended. So Do you think that Trump is going to give them DACA to get the rest of his stuff passed?
I am okay with that. I have no problem. Listen, if you read his book, The Art of the Deal, that's one of the things he says. To negotiate, you got to give a little, but he goes, when it comes out, it's not a 50-50 split. You're giving up maybe 10 or 15, but you're getting back 85. I'm cool with that. Listen, I understand the guy can't win everything. He can't. He deals with the Senate and the Congress. Even with the Congress that's pro-Republican, all these scumbags, rhinos we have in here. I don't know if you heard about this today. There was this well, it wasn't today. It was Thursday. There was this Republican governor out of Colorado that was making a big stink about marijuana, and he said that if he wasn't able to collect all his taxes that the government was taking, that he wasn't going to vote for any more Donald Trump, basically directives. And you're like, what the fuck does that got to do with anything? Like, what about doing what's right by the people? And this is the kind of stuff. So he can't listen. You can never go into a negotiation thinking you're going to win 100% of the time. Exactly. I don't give a shit who you are. You ain't gonna.
You got to give and take.
You got it. And I'm okay with that.
I think, he's going to do it, and he's going to secure that he gets, his wall built. I think that's, part of the plan.
Listen, I think that's fair.
Of course.
I heard people, and I'm not shitting on anybody out there, but I heard some conservatives ripping them and saying, all right,
well, that's the huge thing they rip him on, is
right.
that wall. And so if he gets the wall built, it would be funny.
Well, no, they're ripping about these people want DACA and the wall. And I'm like, you can't have it's not realistic. Yeah. You're
got to give something up.
Correct. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with having to give something up, because here's how you got to look at it. If you keep these people here, how many there are? It's quite a few. I think there's 8 million.
800,000.
800,000. Thank you, hon. 800,000. If you don't build the wall, the amount of manpower to keep 800,000 people out, and they'll be here, believe me, a lot.
The wall for me is purely symbolic.
Symbolic, could be. I don't think they're getting over it, though.
Doesn't tunneling? It's come on.
Yeah.
Airplanes and parachutes.
True.
You're doing all kinds. There's ways to get this shit in here. It'll never stop it.
Right.
But the symbolism of it, and him saying that he actually was going to do it from the election campaign on, and him doing it, symbolic as hell. And people are going to rally behind it, and it's really
that's a good point.
And the Democrats are going to feel like spat on because they lost.
Well, not for nothing. He pretty much has done everything he said he was going to do. I mean,
but that's the one thing they drill him on. Because that's the one thing he hasn't gotten.
No one I always
say. So
if
he gets it, they're really going to be demoralized.
That's a great point.
Nonsense.
I wish the Democrats held Barack Obama or Hillary Clinton to one iota that everyone holds President Trump to, because the guy might have said he's going to do 10 things in his first year. He's probably done 9, and he's done quite a few. Anything that he could do, and they still rag on him. When Barack Obama said he was going to, in 8 years, was going to do 100, he probably did 1. He did Obamacare and he didn't even read it. It was a clusterfuck. We all know that. We're all paying the price for it now. And all the other stuff he did was complete and utter failure. I had an argument the other day with someone. I said, "What's name one thing positive?" And she couldn't name it. She kept going on about something else. This has become commonplace with these people. Deflect. It's ridiculous. It's not, and then they start name calling, which we all know about that, and that gets to a point where that's basically the level of their intellectual discussion is to name call. That's all they can do.
Yeah. Well, it's like you're saying, because they're like little kids. It's
right. Like children. Right.
Asshole.
Yeah. Well, speaking of DACA, I don't know if you saw this. This was kept under the radar. I had to find this, but President, oh my God, President Obama and Secretary of State, her former assistant secretary's name was Janice Palmieri. Wiki exposed an email that went to her, and she reported it back that they said it is top priority to keep DACA alive and illegals here because we need the voting base. So I always laugh at this because I say this all the time. If you people out there that are Democrats or liberals, if you honestly think that Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, so on and so forth, I don't need to name the whole cast of characters. You know them all. If you think they care about minorities, blacks, Hispanics, Asians, so on and so forth, Jews, Muslims, gays, women, I can go on, illegals. They don't care about any of them. Know what they care about? The votes. Yeah. Because how come and I have a question I can never get answered. In the mid to late 60s, every major city in America was flourishing. At that point, we went through this transition, this country of hippieism and whatever the fuck you want to call it. All these major cities turned to democratic liberal leadership. Every one of those cities today is destroyed. And you can go down, they're either bankrupt, destroyed, decimated, or have huge inner cities of unemployment, poverty-stricken shitholes, like I always talk about. Like I'm calling this, but that's what they are. Newark, New Jersey, which we live... American shitholes. We live 25 minutes from Newark, New Jersey. No matter what, since 1967, when the riots happened, no matter how much money has been dumped into that city, it is a shithole. Because if I hear people saying, well, that is so racist, then guess what? Wherever you live in your lily white community, let's talk about it. You live in Upper Montclair, sell your home, go move to Newark, Broad Street, MLK Boulevard. Go move there. You're a hypocrite. You talk a lot. All you liberals love to talk, and then you don't do shit. You're all about posturing and getting your rooster feathers up and calling people names and saying you're this, you're that, labeling people. But when you take away all that fat, you skin all the bullshit away. All you are is talk full of shit hypocrites. That is it.
I love it.
That's it.
Good now.
Yeah.
Oh man.
What else you got?
I got. Let's see. I saw the Treasury Department released 90% of workers get basically an increase in their paycheck.
Yep.
Next month. So I was like, there you go.
Yep.
Beautiful. But I'm sure the liberals. It's a department, so I'm sure they disprove it.
Well,
disregard it.
And to build on what Sal said, the stock market is literally going through the roof. It's almost approaching 20. Almost went 1,000 points this week. It's up almost to 26. And
yes, they're going up, and people are like, "What is this? Right. This is like they don't even know."
And Fiat Chrysler just announced that they are taking all their large truck manufacturing out of Mexico, bringing it back to America, which is going to include 2,500 to 3,000 jobs. And Fiat Chrysler gave out to 60,000 workers, gave out a $2,000 bonus. So good for them. Yeah. When they asked the CEO why he did it, he specifically said, simply, President Trump's tax plan is a huge benefit for us to bring it back here.
I don't know. Did you see this story about Obama this week?
Which one? There's a lot of them.
Scumbag. He apparently when he was president, he received like crazy amounts of gifts from like Cuba and China.
Oh yeah, he took them all.
In all these places.
Yeah, so did Michelle.
Took all of them. But he was complaining that the one country, he was complaining because this is how big of a entitled douchebag he is. He was complaining that Russia never gave him anything. Putin never gave him anything.
Poor baby.
And that, like, I was just thinking that if Trump got all these magnificent gifts, like, you know, not even magnificent, like all this rum, cigars, like,
right.
Imagine if he got vodka from Russia. What would the press say?
Oh, forget it.
They would be like,
yeah, he's on the tape.
They would be like, "This, we need an investigation into this."
Think about what Sal just said here.
And then Obama is admitting to taking all these fucking gifts.
Here's a guy now, when he came into office 12 years ago, 11 years ago, whatever it was, he was worth, I think, $800,000. Today he's worth over $21 million. Here's a guy who's worth $21 million, basically for the last 8 years, paid for nothing, had everything given to him for free, just like Sal said, entitled douchebag. And here he is, a year out of the old office, and he's complaining about gifts. Who does this? You're complaining about gifts from countries that did not give you a gift.
Yeah. Well, only one country,
right?
Russia.
Well, it's mind-boggling. A grown-ass man is complaining about gifts,
and he gave them uranium. So it's just like, oh my god, this guy, this friggin' guy.
How old is he, Obama? 58?
I have no idea. I mean,
it doesn't matter. A man in his 50s. It's like a grown man whose birthday, and you have a party for the guy, and as a grown man, everyone comes with a bottle, and he's like, oh, the bottle you gave me was a cheap bottle of wine. Like, who says that? People don't act like this that I know. You're just happy that people came, and like, I don't want gifts. I'm a grown man. Jesus Christ!
That's what I thought too. I was like, who gives a shit?
What do you do? What do you do when you got his gifts? He kept them in a little notebook.
Like I was just gonna say, you like write it down in a binder. What are you doing?
That right there just tells me the kind of pussy he is. He's a mutt. I can't even. And when I hear people still defending him, now I get to the point when they say it, my right hand starts to quiver because I want to raise it and smack him in the mouth and where their lips are moving. And this is a perfect example that Sal's talking about. You're a year out, you're still whining about you didn't get nice gifts.
I couldn't believe it.
Jesus Christ, what a piece of shit this guy is. I swear, I'm pissed. This pisses me off. The president. Also, he's making tons of money, and he's complaining about an $80 box, $100 box of cigars or a bottle of booze.
So just bothered me when I thought.
Just go buy it on your own, you asshole.
The double standard that's created now with Trump, it just bothered me because if like they caught Russia giving him like stolies, they'd freak out.
They go nuts.
They freak out like, what are you doing? Oh my god!
Oh, it's collusion. Yeah. He's drinking vodka. He doesn't even drink.
No, yeah,
I'm just saying. No, it's a good point though.
It's crazy, man. I saw Huma isn't getting divorced no more.
Yeah,
I thought that was bizarre.
All right, well, how do you think that went down? I think someone ordered her because I think what was said, and I could be mistaken, but if Huma and little Weiner got to get divorced, their shit gets out in the public, like their personal information and lawyer
out there. It's got to be like investigations.
Correct.
Shit, right?
So somebody ordered, and if I'm a betting man, my take on this was, if you check Uma's social calendar, somewhere along the last 7 to 10 days before she was going to file or make it official, she probably had a meeting with, I would say, Hillary Clinton. And Hillary Clinton probably said, Huma, look at me. I've stayed with this shithead for the last 40 years. The guy's cheating on me.
You got plenty of time to go.
So you're doing the same. Shut your mouth and just retract, and you're going to stay with them. And then you'll have a marriage like mine, which is non-existent. Well, it's basically a business relationship.
Yeah.
And Huma probably said yes, because if she said no, she was worried that she's going to end up in a ditch. So Huma ain't stupid.
The last little bit I have is, so are you ready to go to Mars?
Is that what what's the name said?
No, they tested the SpaceX Falcon Heavy.
Is that what's the name of the rocket?
Yeah, Elon Musk.
Yeah.
And it's one of the biggest rockets ever to be launched into orbit or anything.
How much did they say? How much that cost to build?
It's all private.
Right. He doesn't say.
He might have. I don't.
Does he have that much money?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. I mean, a big rocket's a lot of money.
I mean,
it's $1 billion.
It is reusable though.
Right. That I know.
Yeah. But I mean, it's huge though. Huge. Okay. This rocket.
How fast does it go?
I don't know. Fast enough to go to Mars within 6 months, something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why I saw them actually testing it, and he's been saying that by 2025 we'll be there.
Not that long.
And he's like, we're gonna be actually decolonizing by then.
It's like, was he charging? Was he
like 6 years, 7 years?
Wasn't he doing? Now maybe wasn't the moon that he was charging $1 million a flight to go there? Is that what he's like $1 million?
No, what they're doing Virgin Atlantic, Virgin.
That guy Richard
Branson. Well, starting next month he has.
He's doing it.
It's not to the moon yet, but you can go into orbit.
For $1 million?
I think it's 100K, 200K. You get to go in the orbit for like 10 minutes, something like that.
Okay. Yeah, I know.
But you get to go to outer space.
These are people who just need to spend money.
Just private, rich billionaires that want to spend their money.
Yeah, they got nothing better to do. They go up there and have a party. They'll join the
10 minutes.
They'll join the 10 million beat club or something.
Yeah, that's the inaugural members.
We'll have sex with their wives or girlfriends up there and be like, whoopee. But yeah,
I don't know. This is nothing to do with politics or anything like that. I just learned how they do that geosynchronous orbit and how it actually works. I never understood how it works. Like how you could just put something into space and it would loop around continuously.
Yeah.
Do you know how it works?
No, it was just centrifugal force that keeps taking it.
Pretty much. Like it's continuously falling.
So you just throw something there, just keep going.
It's continuously falling towards Earth.
Okay.
Like it's about to crash on Earth, and the way it is, the Earth is constantly moving away from it, and it's constantly moving towards Earth. That's how it stays in orbit. I never knew anything like that. That just blows away people's flat Earth bullshit.
Can you talk about this for like 2 minutes?
Well, you gotta go pee.
Yeah, I gotta pee real quick. I should have went before. I forgot. Excuse me, guys. Gotta go.
It's all right. Little pee break. All right. So what else are we gonna talk about since I'm talking about space? Well, that dude Elon Musk, he opened up the Gigafactory. So I saw he was hiring for out in Vegas, trying to get all those lithium batteries up and running. I don't know, like that's a question I could pose to you guys. You think these batteries are actually going to last if they're just a crock of shit? Like, did he really perfect it to the point where we could actually drive on them for over distance or not need a charging station? I don't know. But he has that huge factory out in the desert now, and he's hiring. I saw just because he tweeted that he was hiring, his stock went up 6% or 0.06% or something like that this week. But anyway, it equated to hundreds of dollars to everybody. So I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. Just from him just saying we're hiring. It's amazing. So that's a little bit more for Trump's economy. I think that's going good. Who else I see? Jamie Dimon, even though I don't really think much of that dude. He said that this year we're going to have 4% GDP, which I think everybody kind of knew. We were going in that direction anyway. So I thought that was impressive. But the dude, he also was the guy who said Bitcoin was garbage and it went up like to $20,000. So who knows what this guy really knows. I think I hear Gary coming back right now.
Sorry, Sal.
It's all right. We're holding it. We're holding it. Talking a little bit more about that.
Sorry, guys.
The GDP going to be 4%.
Oh yeah, GDP. So you were hitting the GDP up.
Yeah, I was doing that. I was talking more about that Gigafactory out in the desert too, where he's got all those batteries, where he's making them.
Yep. And I was going to mention another two things came up that were huge that nobody mentioned, and it's just this cavalcade of criminality. But and listen, here's another. I don't know if you guys know this, but the two gentlemen were very young guys, along with Seth Rich, who ended up dead. Seth Rich's partner, who I can't recall his name right now, he ended up dead.
Yeah.
So both the guys who gave some information to Wiki about the Clintons and the DNC ended up dead. In 2013, the third guy was named Aaron Schwartz. He was killed. He was 26 years old. His death was a mystery. No one could figure out what happened. Well, this past Thursday, there was another gentleman by the name of James Dolan, 36 years old. So the four men, young men.
Not the New York Knicks owner.
Yeah, not the New York Knicks owner. 36-year-old young kid. You got to think about this, people. The four men, young men. I think James Dolan, if I'm not mistaken, was the oldest at 36.
36, yeah.
Seth Rich, I think, was like 28.
26. Yeah.
26. Schwartz was 20, and then his partner, I think, was 30. So you had four men who had no history of drug abuse, no history of mental illness, no history of depression, no physical illnesses, all ended up dead. And no one says anything. And these are all four gentlemen that exposed the Clintons. We all know their body count is through the roof. In addition, I got it now. This is speculation, but I have to mention it. But supposedly, and like I'm saying, I'm not saying this is fact. I'm going to check into it because I'll mention it next week. But in this vein of all these people dying, supposedly there was a man who identified himself as the Clinton hitman. He had a crazy name. He had an alias, and then his real name was like Wickenmeyer, and he was from Arkansas. And he was the guy who said that he killed Vince Foster, and he also said he killed Seth Rich. And he was on his deathbed, and I guess he wanted to have this moment of clarity before. I don't even know if he died yet, but supposedly he admitted to this. Now I don't know if it's fact, speculation. So I'm putting it out there. I'm not claiming it, but I'm gonna look into it. But it was out there in a couple of different websites. But my point being is that all of these deaths aren't coincidence. It's impossible. The odds of young men who have done basically the same thing, and then there's others too. These aren't the only four. I mean, there's a laundry list of people who are going to testify dead, who talk badly about her dead, expose her dead.
I mean, it's impossible. Everything all the criminality that surrounds the woman, it's impossible for it not to be her. Like a little bit of her in some way. I'm not saying all of it could be. Maybe she skated around this and that and whatever. Most likely it's all on her, but at least some of it definitely on her.
Without a doubt.
It can't be.
No, without a doubt. She's heavily involved. I feel she's heavily involved in a lot of this stuff. She just is.
Yeah.
She's had
such high-powered positions. I mean, how could she not be? You can't be like the Secretary General, right? What that she was? You can't be that and not be privy to information that everyone else doesn't have, and you can't play naive to it. Like, oh yeah, I don't know, I didn't do much. Bullshit. You knew all the top secrets. Like,
I think what happened. It's funny. Sal told me a program, and I don't know why I'm thinking about this now, but I'll let him explain to you. But he told me a program he's watching. I watched one of them, and I'm going to relate the Clintons, and he'll tell you the story of that show Black Mirror. Mm-hmm. And he told me about an episode, and he'll explain it to you. But this is, I think, what happened with the Clintons. Exactly what happened on the show Black Mirror about that one person. It started out as one thing, and then it just, remember you told me about the one episode?
Oh, yeah, it's really freaky. It's like Black Mirror, season 3, episode 3. They just catch this kid, doing something normal that everyone does, but they catch him. It could be incriminating, blah, blah, blah. And like, go do this. All right, he goes and does it. They're like, all right, now we need you to go do this.
Yeah.
That's the one.
The one where the person did one thing bad, and then to cover up another thing, she killed someone else.
Oh my God, that's the
one.
Yeah, this woman was with a guy, and he was driving a car, hits a pedestrian in the middle of nowhere, like Northern Ireland or whatever. So they're like, oh God, what do we do? So they ended up burying the guy or throwing him into the lake or the ocean or whatever. So whatever, 15 years goes on, and the guy comes back. He has like a change of heart. He's like born again. He's like, I'm gonna go tell his wife. His wife is still looking for the guy that they killed by accident. I'm gonna go tell her. The woman that was in the car with him is like, you can't do that. You can't do that. I have a life now. I have a son. It's 15 years later. It's over. Blah blah blah.
Get over it.
He tells her no, so she ends up killing him.
Right.
So and then
she kills another guy.
And then when someone comes looking for that guy, and she kills that person.
Right.
And then when and it just keeps escalating to the point where this woman, you get caught.
Well, but you want to kill like a bunch of people.
Yeah, but you end up killing 5 people for no reason, just to cover your tracks.
And that's what I think. What happened with Hillary?
Good analogy.
She just continues. Probably
watch Black Mirror.
Yeah, 40 years ago, she had to cover up one thing. It might even have been an accident, but then you have this you literally have this chain events of covering up, and I think she's involved in so much dirty shit. I mean, I don't think her stuff was accidental. Obviously, but then this was a TV show we're talking about.
Yeah, but
her stuff was real life.
You could see something like that.
And this is a lady in the show who had one accident, one person died, and she wound up killing 5 or 6 or 7 people.
Yep.
The Clintons, this woman has a spoke. Think of what she thinks. Think of her like a wheel. And Secretary of State is one spoke. Bill Clinton as the governor is another spoke. Drug dealing is another one. Pedophilia is another one. She has all these spokes, and then you just go on killing all these people, all these illegal activities, and it's this insanity that develops. And then I think what happens is when you start killing these people, you almost become numb or desensitized to it. And the reason why, unlike this person on the TV show, Hillary Clinton's not getting caught is because she has so many people bought.
Yeah.
I mean, she basically uses the world.
She probably has police department,
Correct.
agencies.
Yes. Well, I think that I think if I'm not Troopergate back in Arkansas, she paid the state troopers as their own personal bodyguards and hitmen. She paid them. So think about this: if you're working for Hillary Clinton, you're making, $80,000-$90,000 a year, and she turns around and says, "I'll give you $250 to get rid of that guy."
Boom.
That's 3 years of work.
Done.
Yeah, and
One
maybe
shot.
maybe that she says to him, "Oh, he's a drug dealer anyway." All right, the guy thinks he's Charles Bronson, goes and does it, doesn't realize that she's lying. Then all of a sudden, hey, you got to do his partner. Next thing you know, a guy turns he starts doing what this person in the show did, but he's getting paid huge dollars.
Yep.
And then probably he gets whacked because I think
eventually down the line.
Yeah, that's her MO. She whacks the people who did her whacking.
You got it.
Mm-hmm.
It's like it's organized crime,
well,
just within the government.
If you remember, here in New Jersey, there was a mob hitman. They called him the Iceman, and they asked him why he had no friends, and his response was chilling. He said, "I have no friends because if I did, that's one more opportunity for a person to rat me out." So he goes, "I just killed all my friends."
Ugh.
Exactly, and that's what she does.
Cold.
That's why they call him the Iceman.
Yeah.
But it was rough. But another thing that went down, and we're finding out, and I'm told that Devin Nunes, who is I believe he is a senator out of California, good one. Him, Jim Johnson, and there's someone else. I can't recall his name off the top of my head right now. But they have an investigation going on with Fusion GPS, which we've talked about many times. But what they found was the FBI willingly used fake erroneous information to take to the FISA court, which is a felony. You cannot do that. You can't have hearsay evidence to go to a FISA court. And that was to basically spy on the Trump campaign and everybody in it, and private citizens as well. So now you have two people. You have a guy named Horowitz, who's the inspector general. He's involved in this. And then you have I think he is the intelligence director. And then both these gentlemen are now opening cases on this. And they're finding that what they did is criminal, and they want all the documentation turned over. And when they find out who gave the documentation, it looks like Andrew McCabe, who was the assistant director of the FBI, buried it and told his guys to bury it. Then he had two buddies named Ben Orr, I think Peter Strzok, three buddies, and Andrew Weissman, who are all bigwigs in the FBI, higher up echelon people, all lying about it. And so now it almost looks like we have a coup in the FBI to undermine our president, which pretty bad. And I think then I think you got to throw treason at these guys.
Probably will.
You got to.
Probably will. Like I don't know. I feel like I don't know. Like Trump is some kind of. I want to call him an evil genius. I want to call him just maybe a mastermind, like a mastermind with a poor speaking vocabulary. Right. I don't know.
Yeah, he talks like us. Like he doesn't. The way he operates, I like.
But I'm not saying I like it. I'm just saying it is what it is.
No, it isn't. Well, I had an argument yesterday. One of someone I know called me up and said something about talking about Trump being it, and I said, wait a second. Let me ask you a question. You don't become a billionaire, a multi-billionaire on $1 million investment because you're stupid. He is incredibly calculated. What he says, even when it comes across as crass or crazy, he has a purpose. Everything with him he doesn't do anything just on a whim. He doesn't do anything because his emotions take over. Everything he does, he has a set, because he's pushing buttons. He is literally the modern day Oz, except he's legit. He ain't like the wizard and the bullshit wizard when you pull back the curtain. When you pull back the curtain on Donald Trump, he's got a plan on everything. And if you think I'm lying, go figure out why. Even his little names he gets, Sneaky Diane, like Sloppy Steve. He has because what happens is he's smart. He has a way of branding people. If I ask you right now the name, what do you call Chuck Schumer?
Brian Trump.
Exactly. What do you call Marco?
Little Marco.
Exactly. He's brilliant. And what do you call Jeb Bush?
Oh, I don't know.
Jeb.
He called. He called.
Lion?
Yeah.
No, it was Lion Ted.
Lion Ted. He called. I think he called Loser Jeb. But
well, yeah. Well,
but
makes sense.
Here's my point. He labels people. He has. I always call it like he sets traps, and these people walk right into him and clamp right on their leg, and then they're stuck. Yeah. And because I have a feeling if he has everything he does has a purpose. Like all these, like when he says shithole. He knew that they were going to lose They were going to lose it. He knew it. He didn't just say because he was mad. He didn't. If you think that he just says things on him like oh, I'm gonna. He has a purpose, and so he said that for a reason. So of course, what did they say? Racist. Now, as soon as they said racist,
he hates immigrants.
Exactly. As soon as they said racist, what's the first thing he did? He signed the bill for Martin Luther King on Monday that Obama never did. And then everyone's like, wait, how can he be a racist? And then he got his. I don't know if you heard about this. After they said he was racist, the information came down about economics in the African American communities. It's
way up.
It's way up. It's the best it's ever been in our lifetime.
All working.
Exactly. So he knows this. So now it just makes and undermines everything he do. So now when people say to Sarah Sanders in the media, "Oh, Trump's a racist," they'll say in the African American community, it's the economic levels comparable to white people. It's the closest it's ever been in our lifetime. So how can he be racist? It's brilliant. And so every time I hear people say that he's like, you're not getting him. You're not. He's an incredibly smart dude. He's a genius, actually. And like Sal said,
and it's like you said in the beginning of the podcast, all they do is focus on his words and not his actions. And
right.
It's so funny.
And he knows this.
Tie it all in.
And he knows this. Yeah. He knows that they're going to go off and that they're going to say, like, I don't mean to bring up these people because I don't promote their show. I don't even watch their show. But if you're going to sit here and tell that the guy is mentally unfit, do you realize how stupid you sound? I mean, Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi, someone put a meme on my Facebook today. It was my buddy Jimmy Panula, Jimbo. He said the people calling President Trump unfit look like this, and he had like 10 women dancing around with vaginas on their heads, and you just laugh. You're like,
funny. They're the ones that are all mentally unfit. Like
correct.
Another bit of their transference that they like to do.
That's it. The transference thing. So that's most definitely something that just keeps occurring on, and the guy is brilliant at it. He checkmates everybody. No one can keep up with him. Nobody. No one at all.
Yeah. And State of the Union's coming up, next week?
Yeah, and then you have some of these people saying they're not coming to it, which is fine with me. Don't come. Don't come.
I want to see who he, that they honor, the president's honor people at these things. I want to see who he does.
Yep. Yeah, I mean,
I'm interested in that.
And I'm going to let Sal go out after this. We're going about an hour now, but I just want to mention two people, and I didn't watch them. So I did not see her speech. I didn't see it. I really don't want to talk about her, but it just
I didn't mention
but it irks me a little bit. But I want to mention, because something came up in my lap yesterday that I found out about just searching through. But the whole MeToo Oprah stuff, I'm gonna give you a little heads up on that. Yesterday, I think it was not yesterday. Yesterday, Friday morning. There was a UK actress. She was of African descent. I think her name was Kadena.
You're on the right track. I know what you're talking about.
All right. Her name was Kadena, I think.
I couldn't tell you her name.
Harrison or something. Very attractive African-American actress from UK. She came over, and she was supposed to meet Harvey Weinstein. So she said she was nervous. She came over here. She didn't know anybody. And she went through her story. I did read her story. And she said that Naomi Campbell and Oprah Winfrey had their arm in arm with Harvey Weinstein. And they were telling her how great he is, how her career was going to be advanced, that she's going to go shoot up to the moon, blah, 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 and that he can be trusted. And so she explains, as a young actress, when I heard Oprah, who is kind of like the mother of modern day talk shows, tell me that, I felt much more comfortable and better. Well, what happened? This poor woman went to his hotel room and she was raped by Harvey Weinstein. So now she has a lawsuit against him. My point being is that this bullshit Me Too that Oprah and all the Hollywood liberals clap about is just a complete. And I don't know if you saw this. Did you know? Ever hear that guy Seal? The guy with the bad skin?
Yeah, he called her out.
I got to give the guy credit. He basically said to Oprah, all these years you not only condoned it and knew about it, but you promoted it. You're the problem. and you're coming across now with this bullshit movement that means nothing with the rest of these women who all knew about women getting raped, abused, you know, thrown away like trash. Because the one thing I love about Hollywood is that it's such a vapid, soulless job out there. Like, these people use people and just throw you out like church. There's no real friends out there. They just, if you can't help them, they want nothing to do with you. And Oprah just kind of, she had Harvey Weinstein building her career up, financing her, doing what he could. And next thing you know, she's selling. You know, she basically had these young girls, and that wasn't the only one. There was many that she was pimping out young girls. Young girls.
Yeah, what the funny thing was when they were all saying Oprah 2020 that, and then immediately within liberals, within the Democrats, they started freaking out. Bernie Sanders, of course, being that one. Oh, this can't happen. This cannot happen. She wants to be a liberal, a Democratic capitalist. This cannot happen. The world needs democratic socialism.
And what is he? A democratic capitalist?
No, he's not. No, he's a socialist.
Yeah, well,
Bernie.
He wants, but he's got the houses. The
oh yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah,
no.
Yeah, you're gonna be a democratic socialist.
I fell into the trap of listening to their words. Holy shit.
Yeah, he's a democratic capitalist.
I lost my mind temporarily.
Yeah, well, that's fine. You're good. It happens to the best of us. But this is funny. Here's a guy who has all these houses now and flying on his personal jets and blah blah. And now, Democrat and Sal does the voice way better than me. But democratic socialism, all for you, for me.
Capitalism.
Yeah, this is what goes down.
$700,000 house. And
then the last asshole I want to talk about is a guy who went off the hinges this week. He made 2 or 3 speeches, 2 overseas, 1 here, and one was on that other idiot, Meryl Streep, another dummy who lied and said that Donald Trump made fun of the handicapped guy, which he never did. She lied about that, and the media and Hollywood applauded her for her, standing up to a bully. It was all bullshit. But De Niro just went on a tirade about Trump, calling him. It was so sad to watch this guy. First off, he looks like he's 100 years old. He's all frail, like he looks in worse shape than my grandfather did at like 80. My grandfather was a strapping guy, a tough SOB. This guy looks like he's ready to break. He's all scrawny. His hair's all disheveled. He's mumbling. Sounds like your drunk uncle at like a holiday feast. After he had a bottle of vodka, and he kept saying, Trump's a fucking idiot. And then he's like, come on, you people got to clap for that. And he was begging for support, and I was like, listen to this guy.
Came off so juvenile, and Juvenile is in the sense of it was just yuck,
Yeah, and I laugh because here's a guy. And listen, I don't shun anybody for making a living, but here's a guy who made a living for years playing a criminal mobster who shot people, cursed the worst profanity, abused women, raging bull, slapped women, slapped his brother around, which is fine. You're playing, but you're using it to promote your career, which some people probably, believe it or not, some simple-minded people probably take it as what you're doing is real life in some cases, or hey, I like to emulate that De Niro and Goodfellas. And he's got the nerve to just come out with this petty juvenile stuff against the president. And then he had another one where I think he was on, Kimmel, Jimmy Kimmel.
Oh, yeah.
He was reading tweets, and the tweets were actually funny, I got to say. And after he read them, then he basically told every person on the street to go fuck themselves. That was his comeback. Fuck you. That's what he's. If you see it, I just came.
True to liberalism.
Yeah, it came back in my lap. Someone sent it to me. I didn't know what it was about. And basically, what would happen was I got to give people credit. Like the tweets that were sent to him were pretty creative, and so he didn't really come back. He would just say, "Fuck you," and then people laughed like they thought it was funny. He did it not just once; he did it like 6 times. And after a while, I was like, "That's all you can do is curse at people." That's all he could do. So he is someone who turned into a big time scumbag, and I think he might, if anybody, he might be unfit now, and that's why he hasn't made a good project in 20 years. He's a bum. Yeah. He's making movies just to pay for his kids to steal from them because they don't want to work.
What a disgrace! Oh my God.
But anyway, so that's that. You got anything else?
Good.
So listen, I know we came late on a Saturday night. We had a little crazy week, and then this week coming up is going to be crazy as well. So we're going to probably be around on next Friday. So
we may have a special guest on for next Friday.
yes, we may. And things have been bouncing around a little bit, so we apologize. We're going to get more into a routine after the New Year. We just had, with the holidays, we had a little bit of craziness, and I'm not going to be around. So we're going to, when we get back on track Friday.
Have no fear. We'll be here with you guys.
Yeah.
Coming at you. It might be on a few different days, but as soon as February rolls around, we'll be consistent.
Yeah, exactly. So hopefully this week of liberal lunacy will chill out, but my heart of hearts tells me that's not going to be the case. So with that being said, my boy Sal, Gary Gobble out. Everyone have a great weekend. Enjoy your Saturday night.
Peace.
And we'll talk to you next week. Have a great week, all.
Have a nice night.
Take care.